Hi, StarSurfer here with the monthly tarot read for July 2023 for my Scorpios. Hey Scorpios, how you doing? How's your month going so far? I hope it's going well. Couple things. I'm going to skip right into the tarot read, so if you want to see the astrology breakdown come back, let me know in the comments below. In the information below this video, you will find a link to my Etsy shop where you can book a personal read with me. We can sit down, we can look at your birth chart, we can look at your transits, we can consult the tarot, we can consult an oracle deck, or whatever you feel you need at this moment, we can make it happen. So go ahead and check out that shop. And then I know you're probably very sick of hearing this, but people say it for a reason because of the algorithm. Help us! Please like, comment, or subscribe if this video resonates for you. It really helps, all of us, but new content creators such as myself especially, to defeat the algorithm. Now, disclaimer. This is a general read for my Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. A lot of people, large range of energies I'm tuning into, so you will know if this message is for you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm going to start with my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck. Get some animal medicine here for you. I was tuning into your energy and I just had like a headache. Oh my gosh. Might be just like a lot of mental activity, but it's like my jaw, my head, it's like all of this just got so tight, so sore. It's like anxiety, stress, like wanting to speak out about something, but maybe not. We'll find out. We will find out, won't we? Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. One more. Any messages or insights for my Scorpios? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Any messages or insights for my Scorpio? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Kind of like that moment of like pain as a clarifying factor. The deer, divine feminine, observant, watchful, sensitized to the environment around you. A nurturer, a caretaker. I feel like this came out in the last read I did for you, and I feel like this might be surprise people who don't know you very well, because on the surface you might not, you might save this energy for like the people that really matter to you. This caretaking, sensitive, receiving energy, but like it's very much present in you. Of course it is, and in this moment it's very much present. I mean, those ears, I just can't keep noticing how big those fucking ears are. It's like, I hear everything. You might be like getting information. You might be like overhearing things that are like, were not technically meant for your ears, but like you hear them because you're just like, information is coming to you, whether it's meant, people mean it to reach you or not. It's like you are picking up on it. Those ears are just so unavoidably large. Wow. The moth, the elephant, and the stingray. You're a magnet right now. People, okay, the stingray is very King of Cups energy. It's like aligned, spiritually strong, mature, some kind of like spiritual leader. The elephant, breaker of barriers, very correspondent to Ganesha, like who is the deity of that, abolishes barriers. And then the moth, which is like moth to a flame, magnetization. Let me sit with this. You definitely are on the tail end or coming out of a process now of like, this is the kind of energy, deer and stingray, that is like very flexible, malleable. If you've ever seen like a stingray swim, it's like watching like water itself move. Like they're just very fluid, but they have a core, a center that is immovable, unshakable. I feel like something with the elephant here tells me that like you've only recently got into contact with this, but now that you're in contact with it, like people are like, ooh, hey, what's up? What's going on over there? You know, it's very much like, but you're not engaging in it right now. You're just kind of like riding the wave, but just the mere matter, the mere way you're existing in the world, people cannot help but be like magnetized by, enthralled with, allured to. You have a lure. What do they call it in fishing? You know, you have the bait, but you're not trying to fish. But the fish are there. They're coming, right? It feels like you really, like, there might have been a way in the past you, like, really wanted people and influence in the way that you actually have it now, and you weren't getting it because you were, like, trying too hard. This is an energy that doesn't need to try at all. It just has it. It just is in it. And that, breaking through that barrier of not trying but being, of just doing, is ironically when you get what you were seeking the other way. It's when people are like, oh, it's effortless. There's an effortlessness to you now. There is an ease about you, the way you're doing the things that before you might have tried really, you might have really tried to very hard at. Any other messages or insights here? Wow. Hummingbird and the bee. Yeah, this is like, you have definitely been in this process of like reckoning with the way you were moving through the world. And like the fact that it wasn't paying off, because bee is like hard effort rewarded. It's like seeing, like getting the fruits of your labors. You know, again, it's like, I feel like people, like I was saying, you're a lord. It's like, you know, you have the honey. You got the sweetness, you got the nectar. Like, clearly, you got the nectar. Like, there's something about you now that people are just like, they're eating it up. But, ironically, this is a time when you seem to care the least about that. You're just kind of like, oh. I feel like, for me, this is reading, this is feeling, this is coming across, like, and I hope I'm communicating this well because my brain feels very muddied right now. What are you doing to me, Scorpio? You're doing that, like, I'm a cipher. I feel like for a long time you were like, I want X, Y, and Z. I want influence. I want people to be attracted to me. I want to be alluring. I want to be... And so you were trying to have influence. You were trying to be magnetic. And that is kind of gives people like an ick a little bit. It gives people like a pause. It's like, there's nothing sexy about like the try, right? And so you weren't getting the results you wanted. And then you were like, you know what? I'm going to focus on me instead of like everything around me. It feels like you were so focused on the external and like getting that to meet your needs, getting that to match your expectations, getting that to align with your desires, instead of being like, you know what, how can I meet my needs? How can I meet my expectations? How can I, you know, create the internal environment that I'm seeking outside myself? And this feels like you broke through a barrier of being able to do that, and now you're in it. And now, baby, people want it. People want it. People want it. But you're just kind of like, okay. Now you're in a place, because you've done that kind of work, because you were doing the opposite kind of work before, you're in a place where like, even if you have it, it's not the end all be all. It's not like make or break. It's not everything. You're just kind of like watching it all, seeing it happen, not being shaken from your core. It's like the I Ching talks a lot about how like we are the hub of the wheel. The closer we can stay to like the hub, the center, our most authentic core, that part of us that like, though things may shift and change around us, right? The spokes of the wheel, the core of us remains in the same place. We move, we progress, but the core remains the same. It remains steady. This feels like you found the hub. You found your hub. And now all of these spokes are like coming to you like, wow, I want what that person has, or I just want that person. Yeah, it's very lovely. It's very lovely. Any other messages or insights for this spread? Yeah. Hawk came out. Guidance. You were definitely like, spirit played a large hand in this role, or however you want to define that for yourself. It's like you know, there's that saying of like, God doing for me what I cannot do for myself. This feels like something you tried to do for yourself, getting this kind of like magnetic energy, getting this kind of like lure, getting this kind of like pull to you, getting this kind of a, like tractor beam is what I'm getting. You're like a tractor beam, you're like a magnet. It feels like it's something you tried to do for a very long time, and it was just the harder you tried, the farther you got from it. And then Spirit was like, no. Let me guide you in this direction. You have a barrier up, right? And it is your need to focus on others and the external, and to try to control the way people are perceiving you, instead of being like, how am I perceiving myself? Right? Where you were hiding from yourself, right? You were like so focused on like the mirror others were reflecting back to you, instead of being like, how do I look? And I mean that not in a superficial way, but like, how do I look? How do I appear? To me, to myself, outside of the mirror of others, outside of like the windows of others, the eyes of others. How do I feel? How do I appear? And Spirit's like, yeah, that's the focus. That's what you want. But to get that, you have to focus here. You have to focus on yourself. Which is not pleasant. I mean, here's your card. There is... Something tells me we don't make this kind of shift, and you're definitely making the shift, and you're seeing the results of it. And if you haven't done it yet, you are going to soon. Like, Spirit isn't going to ensure it if you continue to shift the focus to yourself and getting yourself aligned, finding your own authentic hub. But we don't get to that kind of shift, that like fundamental perspective flip, unless we get stung. Unless things get iffy, dicey, difficult, right? Because it's hard. We don't want to have to like dismantle and revamp our entire way of viewing ourselves in our life. Like we don't like, humans just aren't set up to like willingly elect that kind of renovation of perspective. So sometimes, here's what I'll say. Sometimes the universe will place an obstacle, right? Because I said this is the breaker of obstacles. Sometimes the universe will place an obstacle in our way so that we have to break through it and realize something about ourselves or about life, right? To return us to the core, right? To return us to the core. It's like a whittling away. It's like, you know what? I'm going to place resistance against you in this path because I want you to realize this is not the path. It's not like a judgment call. It is a course correction and a return to authenticity, to self, to your true purpose, right? It's not like a punishment. It is ultimately a gift. It's ultimately assistance, right? Of course it is. It's like you're being helped to break through a barrier. You are being guided and redirected, or you were guided and redirected. A barrier was placed in your path because that was not the path, right? You were meant to go down a different way. And you'll realize that once you go down that path and you start getting the things that you were trying to get on this other path, that was not working out. You were like, I want influence. I want people to look up to me. Or like, that's making it sound ego-driven, the way I'm describing it. And this is not ego-driven, right? This is not, so that's not what I'm trying to communicate. Like, if it feels ego-driven, you're not going to get these things, and there will be more barriers in place as spirit continues to redirect you, maybe through challenge and difficulty, through like shutting a path down, through not giving you what you want because you're not going about it the right way. If it feels ego-driven, that will continue to happen until it's not, until you let go of the ego portion of it. But if you're starting to see the results of your hard work, of like people come into like sorry, that means you've let go of the ego. You've returned to yourself. You're just kind of like allowing. You're focused on your own progress and your own path, and then inevitably, and you know, by extension, people will follow it because they won't feel like they're being forced to. They can elect to, they can choose to, because they want to, because they see that what it's doing for you, the benefit it has, the power that's just like beaming out of you from your core, instead of like the power you're trying to shove in people's face. And overall, the sea serpent, sacral chakra, second chakra, chakra of sexuality and creativity. Again, I really do feel like you have gotten, like people, when I say people are magnetized to you, I'm like, people want the honey, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, there's a power here. Use it responsibly. Use it wisely, but it's available to you. What are you going to create with it? How are you going to wield it, right? If you start to misuse it again, that obstacle is going to get back up, because Spirit wants you on this path, because clearly this is the path that gets rewarded. This is the path of authenticity, of true self, of being the hub of the wheel, the core. Let's get you some tarot cards. One more. One more, I lied. There we go. Any other messages or insights for this spread? We're in our power, baby. King of Wands. Like I said, it's like you have the thing you tried to get and then gave up on because you weren't getting it, and then redirected the focus back to yourself. But ironically, that gave you the power. That gave you the fire. That gave you the passion. That gave you the leadership ability. People look up to this. People feel like just lit up around your energy now. People feel like when they're around a King of Wands, it's like, I feel like I'm the only person in the room. This is very much like I'm eating dinner next to a celebrity kind of vibes, but I feel famous. Like, that's where we're at with you now. And it's like what you were seeking, but you were like not getting. But now you have it because you got the focus where it needed to be, on you. You got the focus where it needed to be, which is on you. All eyes on you, including your own. Right? We feel good now. Before, we were agitated, we were frustrated, we weren't getting the results we wanted, right? We were trying to be this energy and we couldn't contact it. And the harder we tried, the farther away it got. It's like for every willed step you took towards it, it took 5 away from you. But the minute you give up on the chase, the minute you give up on the chase and just sit your ass down and get happy with where you are, look where you find out you're sitting. On the throne. The minute you give up the chase for the throne and sit down, you realize you're sitting on the throne. All it took was to give up the chase and realize you were already there. Give up the chase, you're already there. I really thought something came out there. Interesting. Interesting. Give up the chase. A lot is like trying to come out. Any other messages or insights for this spread? Ooh. If we don't, Four of Swords upright is like pause, rest, recover, sit your ass down, right? In reverse, resisting the pause, pushing on in spite of things. When we resist the pause, look what else is in reverse, the sun. The sun upright, personal power. This is that moth to a flame, the ultimate flame, the fucking sun, right? The source of life. It is like, people are just like drawn to it. But if we don't just sit our ass down and realize we're on the throne right where we are, we have the power source right where we are. We don't need to chase, we just need to be. We just need to sit in the contentment we have with who we are. We just need to like sit and be and beam. Sit and beam, babies. Sit and beam instead of chasing. You'll realize when you sit down, you're already on the throne. You're already on the throne, and then we right side this, right? And then we get ourselves aligned, and then we have such magnetic pull. We are the center of gravity when we just sit down and let ourselves be. I hope this is making sense. If this is for you, I feel like it is. Any other messages or insights? I keep doing that. That's so crazy. It's like shutting the messages down. Are you doing that? Wow. Page of Pentacles in reverse, Three of Cups, and the High Priestess. Again, this feels like Page of Pentacles upright is like someone who's like so fixated on a particular goal, on a material goal, that they pursue it single-mindedly until it's just like tunnel vision on the goal. I need this thing, I want this thing, I have to have this thing, I will give this thing my everything. In reverse, it's like we let that go, right? And then look what comes in, right? The people. When we're not just like, I have to have the people. I have to be the life of the party, for instance. I have to be, I mean, very much with this card, it's like I have to be those things. When we let that go and we just sit down, you'll realize you're on the throne. And then this thing you were so fixated on, being the life, being the energetics, it's very much like, it's giving me like the celebrity vibes. You're giving me like Beyonce at Nobu vibes, like sunglasses at night. Like, this is what you wanted and you were trying so hard to get it, but the minute you just give up on the pursuit and sit down, you'll realize you're on the throne, right? Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. How many times does it need to tell you? Sit down. Sit down. Stop resisting. Stop trying so hard to get this thing, right? And just be in it. Realize you have it already. It is just you. Bow down, sit down, all of these things. Any other messages or insights? Scorpios. Y'all's reads are always, it's like, it takes a minute, right? Because you guys have that inscrutable little shell, that outer layer that you gotta crack through, like a little nut. Crack the code. But once you do, it's like, Scorpio. Any other messages or insights? Two of Pentacles, balance, right? Once you have this, once you sit your ass down, I'm sorry if I'm sounding stern, but I feel like you can appreciate this. Once you sit down and realize you're on your throne, don't waffle. Don't try to go back, especially once you start to see these kinds of like rewards materialize. Like, don't be like too caught up in maintaining or keeping or getting more. Don't get greedy, right? Don't try to go back to the old way. There is a flow, there is an in and out, there is an ebb and receding to all of this. Don't get fixated on controlling, just be in it. Just be in it. Again, so much of this is just like the ease, the flow, the allowing. This is what came out for you first. So you're in the allowing. So like, just be with it instead of being like, I must have this thing. Don't grip. This is gripping, but this is what we were letting go of. Be in the flow. Don't be like, especially once you start to see that people are responding to you in the way you've always wanted, once you gave up trying to get it. Once you see that, don't get back to gripping it. Don't try to hold on to a flame. You'll burn yourself, right? Let go of the grip. Overall, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, the Nine of Wands in reverse, and the Knight of Wands. This feels very similar, does it not? Of like, we have, we want, we grasp, we grasp. We grasp? What's that? We grip, we grasp. I guess it's a combination of those two words. We grip and we grasp. We grasp. You will be putting in so much effort if that's what you're doing. If you're trying still to will people, you'll be exhausted and you won't be getting what you want. You'll be placing yourself at opposition to others, right? Very much this energy of like, I'm trying so hard to get these people to like follow me and they're just not moving and I'm exhausted and I'm worn out, right? We let that go and we just ride our own train. We just go where we're going. And this is the kind of energy that like people find charming, exuberant, passionate, lovely, creative, bold, brave, but it's about you. It's about sitting down. Again, stop, just sit. And realize that once you get into that place, like, you'll get what you were seeking all along. Yeah? All right. Let's get you a parting message from the Gaia Oracle deck. Something for you to ride out on. One more. Can I get a parting message from my Scorpios, please? Can I get... You got 3. The Temptress, seduction, deceit, a broken promise, the Devil card. Flame tree, the start of something new, giving that up. 9 of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. Let's look at that, shall we? The 9 of Hearts, 3 and 7, breaking down to a 10, breaking down to a 1. The beginning of something new. This card signifies success, emotional fulfillment, and wisdom. Something that is dear to you or something that you are working towards has a positive outcome. This leads to a period of peace and harmony and a deep sense of personal satisfaction and emotional fulfillment. That which you strive to create and achieve is granted, and all is protected along the way. The light shines upon you. All is blessed. Sit down and it will. You can move forward with confidence. Give up the trying, sit down, and you'll realize you're already on the throne. Yes? All right. Talk soon.